Welcome to another episode of Conscious Reconstruction. I am the host with the most, aka Tony Melbourne, aka Mr. Mirror on the Wall, who's the prettiest of them all. Me, bitch, aka Mr. That's our girlfriend now. Thank you for sharing.
I think that's
sharing is caring.
Isn't this the wrong show for that?
No, I'm doing it all, man. I'm running through them. I'm here with Just Charles, aka that motherfucking nigga with the hand. Run up on him, please.
This is the wrong
All
show.
I want to see is you fight.
This is why are you
Charles
giving us
is staring at everybody in the gym that go to the punching bag like he want to give them that work, and I'm just
Not
waiting
really.
for one of
They
them.
just be doing it wrong.
I'm waiting for one of them to just turn around and be like, "What you looking at, boy?"
No one's all right. As
Yeah.
a 6'2" dude, no one ever actually says that. To
I
me.
need them to. I need
It's
one
just
of
like,
them big dudes.
For some reason, there are just
You gotta
lines that
see the way that Charles looks at the people that go to the punching bag and be doing that little shit. He just be staring at it. I'm like, Charles, this is rude. This
Is
rude
it
as
rude? It's
Bruh,
just like
rude as fuck. Rude.
Is it? I mean, I just be out there looking at my. I guess my gaze is piercing, but it just be like, it's just the most. I be vexed. Like, why are you looking at me? Because I'm confused.
Yeah,
what are
bruh.
you confused about? You're doing it completely and totally wrong.
Like the
Vex.
bigger black guy that was doing the punching and the kicking. You just stared at him while you were doing your pull-ups forever. I was like,
Wait,
so you just gonna keep watching him? Oh, okay,
It's-
cool.
I wish I could watch
have
niggas
you
work out.
ever? It's like
That's-
watching it. For me, it's like watching a train wreck.
you just gonna let what she just said? Just,
I didn't hear her.
We gonna stop. And we
I
gonna
had no idea
acknowledge.
what she said.
She said, "I wish I could just stand and watch a nigga work out."
Mm-hmm.
That
You
is
can.
no, you can't. That
No,
is
you can't.
not
I just
acceptable.
can't watch a nigga do
That's
pull-ups,
like
no
a-
matter how
that's
much I
like
want
a
to.
Nigga just standing there watching
You
a
have to
chick do
understand,
something. That's
there's a
not being acceptable.
360. There's a 360-degree thing that we be out here doing. So it's like, I guess if there's pull-ups, that means we are parallel. We are like inside of the near the squat racks and the bench presses, and there's a cable fly machine over there.
He
So-
be staring at them.
And the heavy
Like he
bags
wanna
are like
fight.
clear across
Let
the
me know
other
what
top
your-
side of the gym over by the mirrors.
Let me know what your secret is for not breaking that gaze, because I'll be just wanting to stare. Like, yeah, look
Oh,
at you, Timmy.
Because I'm actually analyzing what
I'm
they're
not
doing, trying to
analyzing
figure out
shit.
what the hell they're actually
Nope,
doing.
I'm just watching.
It's like, are you doing something? Is
See,
there
I'm
some
more
fighting
like-
style?
I'm like Ash. I'm like, shit, I can't be just staring in here.
Yeah, right.
That'd be wild if I
oh
just-
no, there are things. There are lines that I don't broach at the gym that are very, very proprietary based.
Tell me why Charles was like, "Hey man, I was about to have to call you, tell you we can't work out right now. It was just too distracting." I was like, "Fuck do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, before you got here, it was just crazy." He's like, "No, I'm not doing it." We just
Well,
gonna
it
do-
wasn't even that. It's just depending upon who you're dealing with. It's just like it's one of those situations where it's just like there is nowhere I can look and observe propriety right now. It's just like, what are you doing? I'm looking forward. It's just like I'm looking
Thinking
forward.
about
and
Jesus.
It's not even that I'm thinking about Jesus. It's just like, and then like typically when I'm working out, there's always this one woman. There's always a woman that comes through and it's like, it's just like, I'm going to run directly in front of you. It's like,
Oh my god.
what are you doing?
So I got another story. We were working out and doing legs. We're doing the last of our legs, doing hip abductors, burnouts. So we sitting down doing our little hip abductors,
Uh-oh.
and there's this bigger guy that comes to the gym all the time, bodybuilder type.
Mm-hmm.
Focus still
more,
is lifting.
not really bodybuilder. I would say
He
more
workout
of a,
enthusiast.
not even that, strongman. Because
Okay.
that's where his
Bag
because
is.
that's where it's that's where like what I'm really good at is like analyzing, and most of what the people in Cleveland want to be are more strongman types.
Yeah.
And so that's where they go to. That's why I don't really pick a lot of Cleveland trainers. Like that's why I went to the one guy, because he's more of a bodybuilder as type, and that's where I want to go. I'm not trying to be a strongman.
I'm not trying to be tossing logs for 40 yards.
No, with this big old belly, like sure you can lift 500 pounds, but you got a gut, and I don't want that.
Yeah, you're not trying to be a power lifter.
No.
Where
Not a gut.
apparently the largest powerlifting gym and the most successful powerlifting gym ever is like literally one city down in Columbus.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
You
It's
know,
just-
powerlifting out here is really big. That's why everyone out here is a fucking huge person. No, I know. I understand why it's the thing. I'm just not fucking with it.
I don't understand the purpose of powerlifting. It lacks a sheer amount of practicality.
But back to this powerlifter guy. So he's trying to do his workout.
He getting these curls
There
in.
is this chick that comes, big booty white chick,
Mhm.
like a stallion, because she like 6 feet. She gonna age like milk, and that ass gonna just go away in 4 years.
It's gonna
But-
drip like
yeah.
cottage cheese.
But anyway, let's
Her
go to
ass
this.
gonna turn to yogurt.
So she clearly is
Hey,
into
don't
this
make fun
nigga
of
because
that
I've
nigga.
been watching this entire time. Every time he go to a machine, she somehow hover and go to an area around him. So he
Mm.
on the machine and she go to the machine next to him. She's like, "You using this one?" He say no. She stand there and proceeds to not work out and talk to him the entire time while he goes through his sets, while he's resting, the entire time. To the point that he finishes his workout on that machine and he leaves. And now she look dumb and now she got to do her workout here before she
So
can go
she's
over
sitting
there.
up here doing like these individual leg raises.
Yeah,
And it's just like, you know what's funny?
he probably should have done that while he was here but
Because it's like he was not talking to her while he was doing reps
no,
whatsoever.
at all.
Well, rep time.
Yeah,
you know, blah,
right.
blah, blah, blah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Get
Bruh,
these
it
reps.
was the craziest shit. I was like, so I was like, Charles, you gotta watch this. She's just following you around. And she not working out, and it's just harassing this man the entire time. And he's really working out. I'm like, madam, what are you doing? If a nigga did this, y'all would have his head on a pike.
I'm not going to the gym.
I mean,
for those
I don't
specific
understand why
reasons.
you would go to where this man, like, this is obviously a place that this dude has a certain degree of peace. So that's what he is here to work out, and he enjoys his workout so a lot because he's sitting up here focused, all into his reps, and it's just like she is having a whole conversation with him, and he is only engaging with this conversation about 50% of the time.
The
He's
level
like,
of impulse
when I'm
control
done with
that
my
man
reps,
had,
all right, time to talk to
unbelievable.
you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with her.
Other friendly weightlifting guy
Unbelievable.
walks over, daps him up, has a whole conversation with her, sidelines her completely, act like she doesn't exist.
Yeah, she. So guy comes in, she hovers over when he walks over to the dude. He's like, "What you working on?" I'm doing back and arms today, man. Back and buys. He's like, "All right." They dap up, and he go about his business, and she just still there hovering. Madam, what are you doing? If a
Girl.
man did this to any woman in the gym, women all around would be like,
would have been on Snapchat.
"Yeah, look at this creep following me,
This creep over here. She
bitch."
can't get enough. That's so weird.
I'm, you
I
know,
don't got it in me to
yeah,
do
that
that.
shit was
Not
crazy.
to follow them nigga around like
Bruh,
that. I don't
like,
have that
and
in
forcing
me.
conversation, like literally, like, no, we gonna talk.
Yeah, because you know when somebody
Like,
don't want to talk to you.
I saw
It's
her.
not even that he didn't want to talk. He was just focused on what he was
The
doing.
crazy-
craziest
don't matter
part
if you
is
hovering around
what
them.
you missed is in the beginning of when we first got there. She went over to him.
Yes.
She gave him her number. I have your number now. I can contact you when I'm not doing this. You gonna follow me around the gym the entire time?
Oh,
just
I didn't know
lost.
about the number
yeah,
thing. I
yeah.
thought-
He got the number, and she then proceeded to continuously follow this
He
nigga. And
probably
I was
lost.
like, I don't know what's going on
you
anymore.
were literally if less is more, you were a constant commodity. Leave me alone, please.
Yeah, like
I need to get these
just-
lifts going.
That shit was the craziest shit to observe to me. I was like, the gym is great for people. I do a lot of people watching in the gym. Like
No,
that's what a
I
lot of my time is
And
spent.
I
I
be watching
don't
these
like it.
dudes
See,
going
everybody
at-
be talking
going
about
at
there's no need to go to the gym and be anxious. Nigga, y'all just had a whole conversation
Well,
about how
it's
y'all
not
be
even
right
that.
there. I'm
See,
not doing it. Thank you for
The thing
solidifying
about
that.
you have to be unusual.
You don't have to do that with
No,
like,
it's
Like, there are
weird.
plenty of
What if I'm
women
not
in
doing
there-
something right? Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's fine. No one.
Mm.
People be out here flipping home machines. No one pays. Like people, most
Yeah.
people use most
Y'all
machines.
just paid attention. What are you talking about?
No,
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 one's
no.
paying attention.
No,
You niggas.
no.
It was
what we
her-
paid attention to is the fact that she's not doing anything and is following this nigga around. And he didn't pay attention to it at first. I've just been observing you follow this
I
man
saw
around.
her over
That
there.
video
I just
where-
stopped paying attention to her. It's just like,
No, what I mean is you didn't pay attention to her follow this nigga around the entire gym.
oh yeah, I wasn't.
That's what I
I
was
just
watching.
kept seeing her and him, and I'm assuming like, oh, they must already know each other or something. I don't know, man.
No,
We were working on legs.
she
and
comes
legs
in and she
extreme
works
focus.
out, and he was here the other time that we were all there, and she kept like doing workouts and moving around and making sure she was doing butt workouts and bending over and making sure that it was properly positioned. Then she moved in and got his number the next time. Cool. I see that you worked your magic, madam. I applaud you. You did what you needed to do. Now you're being a weirdo. So I don't think you working out would be like, hey, let me just chase this nigga around. Even if you're like, I think he's cute, I'm going to give him my number.
Mm-hmm.
After that, you going to follow the nigga around the entire time in the gym?
And for real.
Because that's weird.
Most women in the gym aren't trying to talk to nobody. Most people, they got their headphones on. They in here working out like the rest of the dudes.
Just go at real workout hours.
What the fuck is that?
6 to about
7 or 8ish.
I would say about 9.
Oh,
you can probably 6 to about 10. You can get to real workout hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then come in around 8 at night to about 11.
Depending upon what gym you go to.
But those are generally where you can get really good hours because that's closer to the end of the day. Most people who aren't really there to work out are going to have wanted to go to the gym during like the rush hour, try and like turn this into like a after work type of situation, engage with people, shit like that.
5 is the worst.
Everybody
we went in there with 5.
Oh my God, that was so terrible.
That was a real bad time.
Yeah, so
we're never making that.
We only do it 7:30 and later.
Like it's either either after 7:30 or at like mid. Like there are some people who will squeeze in that midday workout. Fine, but not that bad. Crack of dawn also not all that great. If you go in there at like 6, 7, or 8, those are pre-workout people. But also those people who generally have a really small time scale, so they can't be in there like escapading. Yeah, because they got to go to work. So they gotta go
or at
down.
night, niggas don't want to be in the gym. Like no one wants to be like, oh, I'm going to the gym at 8. That's not what niggas really want to do.
It just be strange. I went to go do this yoga class, and I got the yoga mat and everything. It started at 6. I was like, I'm gonna go, and everything's gonna be fucking swell. They started at like 5:55. So when I looked into the room, everybody was like full yoga pose. I just got a mini panic second left. So I don't know what the fuck it is about seeing people in a confined space working out. I'm just like, nope. Because like you would think like people was getting ready, and I'm just like,
I mean, the gym can be really intimidating.
Yeah, every time I get posted, I'm like, nah, I'm leaving.
It's a bunch of people, and you're thinking if depending upon how self-conscious you are, you're thinking that everyone is judging you. But the thing I feel like people are more together in the gym, probably more than anybody anywhere else, because everyone's here for the same reason and everyone's here to like better themselves. No one's in the gym to make themselves worse.
Yeah, but it also feel like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. All these goddamn machines, and then I just hop on the treadmill. I don't want to fucking do that.
But
I'll do it outside.
If you do the machines, all the machines have like little instructions.
Depending upon what machines you do.
Like if you want to use the machines, like you don't have to go to the free weight because free weights can definitely be intimidating, especially like doing all the benches and shit like that. And like I don't know how much I should do. You can definitely go to the machines and look, and it'll give you a little description of how to use the machine. Like they all have instructions. So I would say that I used to feel like everybody was looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially when I first started working out. I used to think everybody was staring at me. I was like, man, people probably looking at me. And I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
arms flailing everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not really like, I don't know a lot about the gym when I first started. So niggas probably looking at me.
I only judge in one capacity, and that is how people work the heavy bag. I don't care about it any other capacity. It's just like,
I'm probably one of the more observant people in there. But that's just because who I am as a person. Like, I just like to observe everywhere. Like, there's a bigger girl that comes to the gym that works out, and I support that. What I don't support is that when me and Charles are doing our squats and deadlifts, that she's staring at my ass.
Yo, I
Yeah,
found her.
we've made
What?
eye contact before, and
What's
I was
her
like,
name?
all right, well, this is what we're doing.
No,
She was
what's her
working
name?
up
She the
behind,
bold
and we
person
was
that I
doing
wanna
that,
get to
and I was
know.
like, oh, all right, bet. You just gonna be looking
I
at
want to
her.
ask her, how are you finding the courage to just stare? Because I need to find that
apparently-
exact courage.
I mean, Tony has pointed out to me before, is like, Charles, this girl's trying to get your attention. Is she? Well, due to the fact that you were doing one thing and she was directly in front of you, and somehow she keeps on ending mysteriously directly in front of you.
ain't got time for that.
She is obviously trying to get something from you. Well, she's not getting anything from me because I'm walking right now. It's just,
I ain't
if
gonna-
she wants to have a conversation, she can come over here and say something. I'm a very
Women are
amicable person.
More afraid of rejection than men.
Are they? Because I'm pretty mortified of rejection.
Yeah.
Well, I was pretty mortified of rejection earlier on. It's just like being rejected
Alright,
sucks
what?
as a dude. It's just like, oh well. What am I supposed to do after this? I mean, after so many, it's just like, well,
Yeah, but that's it. After
That's
so
why, 'cause
many,
it happened to y'all
women
so much more
don't
frequently.
ever really have to be that person, so they're terrified of being told no. So they'll just do dumb shit to try and get your attention, like stand in front of you and bend over. Madam, you can say hi.
that's
Hello is a word.
hello, girl. I don't know's butt.
Yeah.
You do have girl. I don't know's butt. It is. You do have a pretty nice butt. Okay.
Okay.
Your work here is you've been
done.
working hard.
You silly.
So you know, it's just I like the gym. I like going to the gym, but no, I definitely was super self-conscious when I first started going. Like I felt, especially because I always felt like I was fat. Even now, like I'd be like, man,
You're always bigger than you want to be.
I'm not even bigger than I want to be. It's just the goals that I want and the results that I want and the things that other people look at probably aren't the same. So I'm fat because I can do this. I recognize that this is just a normal human function of your body. When you sit down, that this exists. I don't like it. It makes me feel fat.
Oh,
I
the way
don't
you
like-
feel and the way you feel and the way things are not necessarily correlated in the same way. It's like using logic.
Like sometimes my nipple and my chest looks tighter than other times.
Yeah, because probably you retain a certain amount of water weight. You have certain things. You understand these things.
Yeah, but with my nipple bigger, I'd be like, I'm fat. I got this.
Oh,
And I
apparently
really-
that's a lot more variable than people would like it. to be.
It is.
Actually,
it is.
having it's just like having conversations with women is like, oh, sometimes my areolas just be changing colors. I'm like, what?
I ain't never experienced. Never mind, that's a lie.
It's like it
I'm
was one
actually
color
like
one
that
day and
never-
it was a different color the other day.
It's different.
Huh. The more I know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
It's just like when they're in front of me, it's like, hey, boobs.
today when
But-
I woke up, they were small and tight, and I was like, all right. But other days, they're more oblong,
Tiny
and
nipple to you.
I feel fat, and I'm like, I don't think that I like this, and I feel like I got to work out more. And when because I got fat when I got here for real. So I'd always just like retain, and I knew I was fat. It wasn't like I just kind of like gotten
Surprise.
bigger and didn't realize it and didn't know that I was a bigger nigga now. No. Tony recognized that I went from being in California and being one of the skinnier people to coming out here eating nothing but milkshakes and fucking rallies every single day, and then now I wear a size 42.
No, you wasn't.
Nigga,
You a
how the heck-
fucking lie.
You were a
Get the
size
fuck
42?
out of here. Tony, you was never a size 42 in your fucking life.
It's not outlandish. It's just the
It's
fact that he
outrageous
didn't
for
look.
this nigga.
Yeah,
No, the
exactly.
fuck you
Look
wasn't.
at my body, exactly. And so I knew I was a fat nigga. I knew
You
I was
was
fat. I knew I was fat.
The only picture I saw of you, you look chubby at best. What you saying is hell shit, like big nigga shit.
Yeah, I was fat.
That's
I was fat.
No, the fuck you wasn't.
Like, are you talking like
We were
38?
doing this for 2 years. You ain't gotta lie.
36?
Goddamn.
No.
This
42.
nigga said 42.
I
Get
guarantee-
the
you
fuck
know the funny
outta
thing about
here.
Tony, even though he throws everything away, Tony might be the type of person to keep one pair of pants from his high school from high school to
42,
be
get
like
the fuck out.
never again back in the closet.
Once I start shopping for men's clothes, not like for myself personally, but you go get some stuff to sell, you start to see the bigger sizes. And 42 would be way at the end and empty. Like you have like common sizes and sizes that a lot of people get, but then they can't buy. And then you got like big sizes that just be non-existent. And 40, 42s, they don't be there because I think people are either that around that size.
I'm a 46.
Yeah, so I think those sizes don't be in stock because it's like average. But if you compare a 42 to a 29, you'd be like, oh.
Yeah, I wear a fucking 30.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my overall goal is to get my pant size back down to 38, 36. I mean, that's the other thing, the efficiency thing. Like, my pants are expensive. They like,
my pants are expensive.
And you gotta get them tall too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My biggest issue is thighs. My thighs are really big, so I need those to be thinner.
My issue is obviously I am thick and I am long and my waist is small. So it's a lot of extra in the back when it go around my waist. I'm like, what the fuck backwards shit is this?
Yeah. No, it's not always the funnest thing. But yeah, the gym is actually a very fun place. I mean, I do look around, but I also make sure my eyes don't linger because I feel like that's really rude.
I like working out outside because it don't feel like I'm working out. It don't feel like a workout for real. It feels like, oh, I'm working out and enjoying myself. That's why I like doing it outside.
Well, it also depends upon the reason. Like, Tony actually enjoys working out.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't mind working out, but I'm also very efficient about everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like,
yeah, I'm like, we could definitely get some more work in, Charles.
It's just like Tony just tacks on extra thing, but I don't like working the same. Like, I work upper, lower, and middle chest, and then I actually tend to superset that with like a chest fly. Tony will work upper, middle, and lower chest, and he's perfectly willing to go work upper chest again.
And middle and lower if he was willing
and
to
middle
do
and
it.
lower.
Like, so realistically, I would do a incline barbell chest press.
Yeah.
Then an incline bench press. Then a flat bench press. Then a barbell bench. I would do the decline. Then I would do the dips probably.
Even though they're all working the exact same muscle groups. As far as he's concerned, certain things work different stabilizing muscles. Like when you do dumbbells, you have to stabilize because it's just only your arm and it's not this whole big ass bar that's keeping things stable. You have to hold the weight more. So that's more for you to stabilize. So it's just a different nuances. And so, no, I'm willing to go all the way. I'm not willing to spend 3 hours in the gym.
It don't got to be 3 hours, but it could be 2.
We spend 1.5 now about as it is.
We could add another 30 minutes.
Like for legs, I'm adding something because I thought
let's add another 30 minutes, Charles.
I'm adding one more work. I'm adding one more exercise. The other thing is Tony won't allow me to do it. Like Tony, if I'm doing an exercise, regardless of what it is, Tony will do the exercise.
Yeah, you're not gonna just be doing workouts I'm not doing.
And that's
except for chest flies because I don't want to do those, so I do arms. I'm not about to be sitting here doing this.
Crossing horizontal abduction.
Yeah, no, I'm putting some weight on my chest and I might do a sitting like stationary chest fly for the middle. But I also I like this. I get the same little abdominal cross when I hit the little weight in the middle of my hands and push out.
Oh, I understand. It's just also I'm there for Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he does 180 of them.
I do 4 sets of each at 10. So I do 15. So 160. Yeah. So I do 60 high, 60 middle, 60 low. Yeah, it's not fast. Well, it's pretty fast because of the nature of the exercise, but it's not quick in terms of I'm going to be here doing chest flies.
All right, niggas, enough with your fucking flex. Get out of here.
Oh.
Yeah, I do 1,500 fly flexes, whatever the fuck. Go ahead.
It's just me going.
She said 1,500.
Both of y'all, get the fuck out of my face with this lightweight flexing on the fucking podcast.
Oh, it's only 7.5 pounds.
I don't know it. Oh.
It's not like it's a lot of weight or anything. It's just a lot of reps to burn out. But I don't know. There's
I
just
commend
like,
y'all for
there's
working
that,
out.
and there's this advent of like leggings where you can see like individual butt cheeks for some reason.
So,
I don't know.
You can't
It's just like
you can't find me fat because I also knew I was fat and refused to take pictures.
there's
it's one of my mother's
some
greatest-
random errant pictures out there of
It's-
Tony being fat, but
It
they're
is,
on other
but
people's
it's,
stuff.
yeah, it is. It's one of my
Yes,
mother's
my nigga.
greatest issues with me. You just stopped taking pictures. I was fat. What the fuck you talking about? I don't want to document this. I know I'm fat. Why? I was never one of the people that just ate food and just didn't realize how they got big. No. I am fat.
I'm going to.
I'm not
I
taking
mean,
pictures
it's
of
not like
this. I'm a
I
fat
mean,
boy.
like in high school, they were out there going to White Castle.
Okay.
It was like
Yeah, no, I was fat. I used to eat.
playing Yu-Gi Mons.
That's
and
different for you because you had one point and then got catapulted to another point.
Yeah.
And then
I was
said-
never particularly small.
Yeah, me neither. So I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be skinny and then
Yes, you know,
Yes.
I was
Like I've been in shape, but
Well, see, I was small because I was always like the tiniest. I didn't really hit like a growth spurt until like the 9th grade. Until then, I was the smallest of my friends, the skinniest. I was always the littlest person around. And so I just remained skinny. Then I hit my little growth spurt. And so now I'm just a little taller and lanky for my little 5'6" self. But I ain't really got no fat on me. Then I came out here and just ate nothing but Rallies.
it had Cleveland food. It's just like
No, it was literally, I wouldn't had, you know how Rallies will give you a 32-ounce milkshake?
yep.
Hey, no, because when you say I ordered a large milkshake, if you're not from Cleveland, you picture a normal size large. No. Rallies gives you,
that big ass king size cup.
if you order
Like
a
Rallies.
large soda that was 32 ounces, when you order a large milkshake, it is also 32 ounces. So I would get one of those, the banana one, because they were the only fast food place that I ever found that had banana. I was like, oh, that's dope. I want a banana milkshake. So I would get that. And then their barbecue rodeo Western burger. And I would eat that and drink that entire milkshake every single day.
It's like 1,500 calories. a
Every
drink.
single day. And I would do nothing but then go back upstairs and sit in the room and play Mega Man on my Game Boy Advance. And not talk to anybody. Because I lived on Kinsman and 143rd. I had niggas ask me what was in my Rallies bag one time while I was walking home. Nigga, food. Fuck is you talking about?
It's just like I don't think what's in your Rallies bag? Food. It's just like also don't think I'm not violent enough to beat you up.
They left me alone, but it was just like, I don't even understand how we almost got into an altercation about what's in my Rallies bag. Who are y'all?
I'm pouring this milkshake
Why
down
am I
y'all.
over here? I need to go home. Why am I not back in California? I don't know none of you niggas. I hate this place. I'm depressed. I'm about to eat this sandwich and go play my game. And so that's all I would do is eat a sandwich and play a game because I was hella sad. So no, Tony was fat.
That was hella sad.
Tony was hella sad and they got hella fat.
And you were
Yeah.
right down the
guys.
street from the fucking Rallies too.
Yeah.
the
I would
worst.
walk to Rallies, walk back home, eat my Rallies, play my game, do nothing.
And an audience for real, like milkshakes are Tony's like primary adversary probably currently.
Bruh. No,
Oh, you didn't drink the milkshake?
I just kicked my milkshake habit. It used to be I would go get a milkshake every single day.
Tony only eats one meal a day, though, so now it's fine. It was fine at that point. It's just like one medium milkshake.
Yeah,
Honestly, that was probably the entire
daily.
That was probably the entire reason why he was meeting his daily
No, that's how
quota.
you get diabetes.
Let's be real.
Yeah, no, that's
Diabetes.
not acceptable. So Tony had to cut that out. So I've had 2 milkshakes maybe in a month's time.
Okay, that's a normal amount of milkshakes.
Yeah, and then I'm like, and then now what I've been doing is like I ordered the medium and then I only drank like a third of it and I was like, no, you can't have it all. So I poured it like a third of it out and only drank the last little bit of it. I was like, yeah, that's all you need. And so yeah, so I'm trying to be a lot more mindful about
Were
how
you
much.
angry at yourself after you threw part of the milkshake away?
No, I don't
Okay.
ever get mad about myself about like throwing away food that I've paid for. I don't give a fuck about that. Like I'll pour this whole rice in the trash.
Well,
I
it's
love
not
rice.
necessarily about the waste of food, and more so it's like I wanted the rest of that milkshake. For real.
Nah, because I don't need that. And I like to be able to be disciplined. And there was a point where Tony would crave milkshakes. Like I would be driving at night and then have the craving for a milkshake, and then would be like furious on the nights that maybe the system's down or they talking about they blenders don't work. Like I've called corporate on niggas before. Like this is to the point of how upset I've been. Yeah, I've gone at like 2 a.m. and then was still upset enough at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning when I wake back up to call corporate and make this complaint. Cause y'all got me fucked up. No, like, so no, Tony recognized that, you know, brother,
I know that's
probably
when this
have
worked.
a relationship with milkshakes that's unhealthy.
Only milkshakes. though.
Let's break that. Let's
nigga-
cut that out.
This
The
nigga
rest
was
of
a
food,
simp
you don't
for
even like food
milkshakes.
that
Yeah,
much.
no,
But
I recognize
milkshakes.
that when I like something, I can become really obsessive. And so
Shimping for milkshakes.
So I have to rein myself in and be like, hey, you need to stop because that's crazy.
There's no one food.
Bro,
that
being
that.
fresh, I would be so mad. Like, I would want to shoot the place up. And y'all know that's a real possibility for me.
That's what makes it funny.
I was like, man, I want to shoot this bitch up. What the fuck y'all mean? I know y'all motherfucking, like, when they would tell me that they blenders are broken,
I know y'all lying to me.
y'all are lying. Oh, we're cleaning our blenders. Bitch, that don't make sense. All it is a base and a actual blender top. So what you would do is wash it out and then be able to make my milkshake. What you're saying is it's late and you don't feel like doing this. I don't understand why it's so hard for you bitches to want to make a milkshake at night, but you can make all these other fucking fruity ass, crazy ass coffee drinks. But what the fuck ever. Now I want to shoot this shit up. But I recognize it, Tony. You're the one that is tripping. I'm still call corporate, but we can't be shooting shit up. Let's not just.
He called corporate enough to the point where the milkshake proceeds were them blenders were always working at night now.
Yeah, blenders work. Blenders definitely work. I don't get no more. Oh, the blender's down. Sometimes I'll get. Oh, our system is down, or we're only taking cash, and that makes me salty because I don't ever carry cash. But then that's my fault because I don't got no cash. That's on me.
But
I ain't- But the blender shit, nah, them bitches better work out. Like I don't know, but yeah, Tony had an addiction and recognized it. It was like, you go and get this every single day. Not only is this a gross waste of money, that's what
$25 a week, or probably close to $35 a week on milkshakes.
because what is 12 every 2 days? It's $5.99.
$5.99.
So basically $6.
Yeah, 6 times 7, a little 30,
38.
$38. Yeah, about $35, about $40 a week on milkshakes.
Yeah. And
That is 2 packages of chicken breast.
Nick,
Very large things of chicken breast. That's the most annoying thing. But
that's $160 basically on milkshakes.
a month. Yeah,
That's like a bill.
it is a bill.
That's a real ass bill. That's. I can pay my cell phone bill with that.
A lot of people don't realize how daily expenditures like daily coffee and stuff like
no,
that.
I do. That's
really
why
actually-
I also got to Tony, you got to cut this out. What are you
Cut
doing?
it.
It was to the point where I could order and they would know who it was. Like
Oh, at that point, you're probably like, I
Like,
don't know if I should be
I
ashamed.
know all of them. I know every person that works up there. Like they all know me by face. Every single, and it's nothing but like 2 guys and random chicks that always work there. All of them know me. Know that I'll return my milkshake if it's too milky. Oh no, he's the one that it got to be thick. He gonna come back and give it to you and be like, no, this is water. This is milky. I don't want this. And now you're gonna do it again. So you might as well just put the more ice cream and the less milk in it the first time for him. Like, it was too much. I recognized it was too much. Tony had to cut it out. Tony don't do that no more.
Tony's milkshake
Hey.
relationship has gotten a lot
Hey.
healthier.
Do you think it's weird I talk about myself in third person sometimes?
it's fucking terrible.
I find most things
The fact,
hilarious.
because it's almost like you disassociate yourself from your own actions.
Well, it's more.
Nigga,
So,
you did it.
well, it's
Look,
not
Tony
even
did
that.
this.
It's the
am
active
I talking
reflection. It's basically
The one that
you
watches
having
Tony?
enough interest to self-reflect and be like, hey,
No, this nigga is
you.
disassociating himself from his own actions.
But-
Tony don't like doing this. Tony don't like doing that. It's you. Take accountability for what you be doing. Look at him. I have a problem with that already.
Oh, I have no problem with just disassociating myself and then pointing back at myself. Like, hey, you, stop doing this. Like, when I was working out, I used to buy Gatorade from the where I was.
But you see how you didn't say, "Hey, Charles, stop doing this," or you never be like, "Yeah, Chuck's bitch yesterday," or whatever. Like you don't put yourself in the third person. This dude would constantly do it. No, Tony don't like this.
But I also switched.
Who is Tony?
I switched from third to first person in the same conversation.
What?
I don't know. It's just I don't know why.
You
I
don't
do
believe
it.
you
It's
doing
just,
this shit.
It's just how I've
not
always.
take accountability for the wild shit you be doing.
Someone pointed it out to me. They're like, you switch between third person and first person in conversation just seamlessly. That's weird as fuck. Why do you keep referring to yourself in third person? I was like,
nigga, you don't believe the shit you coming out your mouth.
I didn't even think about it until I heard myself say it a couple of times. And I was like, I wonder if this is weird to them. So then I figured I should ask.
Bruh, it's so fucking weird. I wish I'm like, so you just don't want to take no accountability for what the fuck you be doing?
I'm taking accountability.
Just say Tony did it, huh? That's exactly what it sounds like to me.
Tony did do it. Am I not Tony?
Anyway,
I feel like I am him and he is me.
How are y'all two separate?
Because
myself and I.
You can think about yourself.
You can think about yourself, but it's usually a Ashley realm thing on an internal. This is what I do. I. Now this is what Tony does. That's that's disassociated of his shit.
Because I guess I look at it like, you know how you look at a situation and you can kind of feel like you remove yourself from it and just like look at it from an overall perspective.
Yeah,
that I
that's
can
what I was
understand.
speaking.
But you
So that's how I look at me.
still did it. So say I.
It's basically.
No, but while I'm doing that, Tony is doing that. And I'm over here.
It's abstracting yourself from it
no.
and allowing your logic to be tantamount.
No.
So it means, because at the end of the day, I'm looking at it and say, hey, you motherfucker. Yeah, you. Stop buying Gatorade every day and just go buy some fucking Gatorade.
That's okay to have the conversation. But for real, to make it like Tony a separate entity is what he's doing. He made it a whole, I'm not in control here. This is something that Tony did.
I could argue that Tony was not inside of the control when he had the milkshake problem.
Maybe I should explore that deeper. I think that's an interesting conversation.
That's a very interesting conversation because he don't never be like, I did this, I fucked up.
I feel like this is a good conversation.
Or crazy, like,
entire order of the show.
Here.
Hey, that's good because I feel like this is a good conversation.
And Tony went out because Tony don't like. I'm like, but it's you. What do you mean?
I don't know. I guess I don't even think about it. It just I just vocalize it like
I said, your psyche, you trying to split it up. Like you just didn't do what the fuck you just did. You did it. Tony didn't do it. All of y'all is a you thing. Not just a separate, Tony took over. And
what does that have something to do with like accountability?
Huh?
What does that have something to do with accountability?
I just said that. I was like, you don't want to take responsibility for the wild shit that you're doing. So you've created this entity of Tony. Because Antonio clearly ain't had shit to do with the wild shit you was doing. But Tony did it. And he'll fucking tell you, yeah, Tony don't like that. Nigga, if we was sitting in the mental hospital, y'all be like, oh.
What's your name?
I gotta leave because clearly I'm not supposed to be here. This nigga do that shit consistently, and I just be sitting there like, so you just not gonna take accountability for nothing you doing?
Well, here's what you can do. You can see if you can trick him into writing his name down, and if he spells Tony with the I, maybe he does have dissociative identity.
Well, all I know is I don't know. I never thought about it until somebody pointed out I was having a conversation, and they were just like, you are referring to yourself in first and third person. What are you doing? Why do you keep referring to yourself as Tony? That's who I am.
You don't believe you've done any of the things. You don't want to fucking fess up. You don't want to own it. The shit you be doing and the shit you be saying. So it's Tony's fault now. It's not Antonio's, is it? It's a whole separate little collective going on.
I've never heard Tony call himself. I've never heard him introduce himself as Antonio. Ever.
I've never seen that either. But the fact that he just keeps saying Tony like he didn't do it. You should hear him. He'd be like, yeah, Tony don't like that. Who are you? Who's speaking now? Who the fuck is Tony?
Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's somebody else speaking.
Oh, it's Tony.
But yeah, no, I feel like I don't know. That's interesting.
Tony,
'cause
Tony. It feels good.
You stupid.
I guess maybe I should start, or well, that's probably gonna be hard. Well, I was gonna say I'm gonna start like paying attention to when I say
it's always when
Tony
you doing something
versus-
fucked up.
when I
Because Tony
like,
don't
take
like.
ownership
Tony
or
won't
something
do.
like that.
See, Tony will go like.
That was just.
I
He
like
do it
this.
when he do shit that just be wild, or like when
Disinvited.
people think he just like, oh, this is moralistically not be okay. You can tell he do it when other people, he know other people gonna judge your actions.
It's
He be like, no,
whenever
Tony
he hits the.
did this.
So I feel like I would have pay. I want to pay attention because maybe it is like that where I'm creating this level of separation from where it's like, sure, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want, but when we come down to talking about who did it, yeah,
It's Tony did it.
Tony was out here doing crazy shit. I was man.
Tony don't like. Tony will go there because
I
you know
didn't
what
get
Tony
Tony
will do. See,
I don't know.
he was like, you
I
know,
had to get
Tony
Tony
will shoot up the
together.
thing. You crazy. We was sitting inside the mental hospital and you was talking like that. You were like,
I
damn.
recognize that I'm crazy. I've never once said
You've never,
that I'm
that's
not
true.
crazy.
You've
I
never
always
once.
say
You've
I'm
always
crazy.
fessed up.
Yeah, no, I go into situations like I'm gonna let you know I'm crazy. Now I'm discovering that the level of crazy is interesting, but I am crazy.
The
I
end
always
result is still
own-
the same.
I always own that much of it. I am
Mhm.
crazy. How it manifests itself, I'm learning. The fact that I say Tony for everything is a very interesting thing that has been brought to my attention. I think that's unique. That
No, we've never gone in depth with it, but I've brought it up. Like, why you keep saying yourself in the third person? I don't know why not. And I was like, you might be right because clearly he got an attitude just for me bringing it up.
And
You
the next
got it.
thing you know,
well, it's
wait
not an
a
attitude. It's-
second.
why not isn't an attitude. Why not is really well. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
I need an explanation.
I was
You
like,
eventually came up with the explanation, ass.
Yeah, because
Ash.
now this makes sense.
no, I've been
It's
thinking
just
about
like,
it for a
wait
while.
a
I'm like,
second, you're disassociating yourself with all of your actions
I've
that you
been through this. I just never said anything because when he said it, I was like, "You right? I ain't got this ain't none of my fucking business." But now that someone else brought it up, I can say it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, somebody else brought it up. Somebody else brought to your attention. You willing to delve into it? Steve?
No, I wasn't willing to delve into it. You brought it up again just now. I was completely fine doing it, as you saw. I was on the Tony train. It wasn't Tony was willing to delve into it.
One day,
You
Tony's gonna
brought
get
it
pulled
up,
over.
And now it's so what it is now 3 times. All right, some of y'all. This has been the 3rd time that people have said this.
Yeah.
Maybe I should
Pay attention.
engage in this now that it's not just a
I want you to
one-off
one
thing.
day get
Yeah.
pulled over
So, yeah.
and have a whole conversation with the police.
It's,
And
that
go
would
between
be
I
bad.
and Tony.
Yeah, no. See, that would be.
No,
Oh, you need to go get checked out.
Me and the cops do well.
This
Well,
shit
no,
right
it's
here.
just like I just want there
Like
to
a
be
conversation
a cop.
where you entirely was just like Tony didn't mean to go 65. Like
No, not necessarily that.
In the 30s.
It's just like Tony shot that place up. Who's Tony? Blah 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 blah.
See, now
Then they just go
that-
out there on a quest for Tony.
That's
and
like
it's just
mental. That's like, oh, you need
Tony
to go
was right
somewhere.
here in front of your face.
You told us that
What-
Tony did it. My name is Tony. You never asked me.
It's
And
just like
that I feel like is a failing on your detective skills.
you failing to do your job.
Yeah.
You have my license probably right there in your hand.
No,
Didn't
this
read.
nigga been doing that shit for a while.
But
What'd
yeah,
you
no,
do?
I definitely I don't even notice that I do it. And I was doing it so much in the conversation that I finally just heard myself saying, Tony, dude, that's like, I just did it again. Let me ask the room how they view that. If that is like a weird, like
Idiosyncrasy?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it is. It's
Watch when you do it. Watch. It's when you about to say
It's-
I do
it's
wild
hard, though.
shit
It's-
or I've done it
that's what I was
already.
gonna say. It's hard to like actively like
Doing it out.
to like tag it.
Yeah.
Because I usually know what I'm gonna say, but I don't really like monitor myself in that way of like, what are the words that you just used outside of like kind of like being well spoken? But like saying Tony did this or that, it's like, especially like when I'm like in the flow of conversation like we were, that was wow. All right. That's look at
Good
that.
luck.
This what this show is for. Conscious reconstruction, just different ideas and bringing them out and talking about them. I'm mad Charles.
In any event,
Charles don't know what to do.
I've never heard this nigga. Yeah, you know, Charles. What? Who is this second person? Like, it's a different persona. I think what happened probably is that you learned to develop a persona and named it Tony. I think
Tony
that's
with
what
an eye
happened.
though.
Yeah, he named it Tony for real. I think maybe somewhere along the way, he was like, people keep saying that I'm weird about these things. So I'ma just give it a name.
I might have developed a different persona with the fact that I move around so much and
Yeah.
kind of developed or gained a little bit of an understanding that you can present or be whatever you want to people,
Mhm.
and that's what they take in.
Yeah.
Like, if I went to, like, when I went to Shaker, certain people knew that I was gang affiliated.
hmm
And then they wanted to ask me dumbass questions. Like, they asked me, well, what side is the flag go on? It's the left. Well, you only know that for Snoop. Nigga, you only know to ask me because you heard the song. How about that? But we don't need to go back and forth about this. Sure, I'm not going to keep arguing with you. So when I went to Brush, let's not bring this up. You niggas out here are too enamored with it and want to ask too many questions and think that it's the hyper gangster person that y'all see on TV. We're really not like that when we're from California. We're really relaxed and calm, but we will kill you. And then go back to being relaxed and calm. So, what you see on TV is a dramatized version. But let me not bring this to Brush. So, I didn't speak about it. It could be a different person. When I went from one elementary school to the other one, I could be a completely different person.
Mhm.
All three different ones, I could be a different person. Like, I learned that you could be whoever you want to a group of people that don't know you. So probably at that point is where Tony really gained his own like form and identity of whatever I want to present is what Tony is at that moment, and who I am really is all of these things. But y'all see Tony.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably where I could see it developing itself. But yeah, then turning it into a like mechanism to disassociate with things that I'm like, that's not a good thing to keep doing. And Tony had to get that together because he just kept going to get milkshakes. So yeah, I can see me turning that into disassociation. That's interesting.
I was reading Gods in Every Man, and they broke down Greek mythology and how that actually is an archetype in your ego, and how men can have like different predominant archetypes. So a man could be predominantly a Zeus, a Hades. You can get into younger archetypes, could be Apollo, the other ones. And Hades actually was the one that had the problem with developing a persona because they were so internal that they focused on the internal role. So they might be super introverted and things like that. And then it was like, oh, how do you get out of this? Develop a persona. So
yeah, I am super introverted. Like I always be in my own world. And so
yeah, so it was like, well, get out of it is the way you develop a persona.
Apollo.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
That's a really good book if anybody cares to read about it, how you could how the mythology relate to your archetypes and your ego and their psyche.
What's
I
a
forget his name.
Zeus? Apex man.
I didn't get there. I read
Amazing.
it Hades because she got a one for women. And mine was a Demeter and a Persephone. So my natural attraction would be a Hades and a Zeus. And I was like, I swear. Because that Demeter one had me. I was like, what? But
what's the Demeter one about?
it's like super, super involved with motherhood. Super nurturing, super in tune with your kid. Don't nothing else really matter. Like compared to a Hera, where she just wants to be married. Like her main focus is her man. Mine would be children. And the Persephone would definitely have like the younger aspects of trying to be kind of like a people pleaser. But then her natural counterpart would be Hades. So, but those are just parts of your brain that you can overcome. You're not stuck in any of that shit. That stuff is just something to overcome. But for men, it's when it's, what the fuck was it called? God is a Man or some shit like that. I forget the lady's name.
I don't think that when she says, just to give y'all a little bit of clarity, that when she says overcome, that means deny those aspects of yourself, because Ash is very nurturing, a very mothering person. She means don't let them be the totality of yourself.
Right, because if you over nurture and paying attention to your kids, you don't get to develop
who you are.
And if you're Persephone, always trying to please people.
Again, not into who you are.
It was
as a
just
person.
cute for some half, but it's not going to take you far.
So yeah, just don't let it be your totality of who you are.
Yeah, I never got to the Zeus part when God. Damn, what the fuck is
Yeah,
it
and that's
called?
why I'm now. I'm like, I
Yeah,
want to read this book.
Gods in Every Man is what's it called. It's a really good book. She break it down
You
pretty
have
simple.
randomly piqued my interest when I'm not willing to read most of these books half the time.
Really?
Yeah, this is just like, huh. It's like personality archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
I mean, it's just one of those things where, like, I think I didn't know that mythology had more deeper meanings to it. And when people break it down like that, that's my go-to. That's my primary thing, is about figuring out different parts of the mind. And when they get to break it down like that, some basics at least.
Is her name Jane or Jean?
I think it's Jane. Do her last name begin with an S?
Shindota Bolden.
Something let me see the cover. Yep, that's the one.
Okay.
So I got both of them, and I was reading both of them. And pretty cool reads. Pretty cool reads. They'll tell you how your father must have acted towards you, your mom must have been, and she break out the whole little shebang.
Oh, that's crazy. I can't get it on audio.
Kindle?
Yeah. Well, no, you can get it on. Of course you can get it on Kindle. You can't get an audiobook.
That's not that unusual. There's a lot of things that don't get audiobooks.
Usually,
Most books don't get audiobooks.
No, usually books in this vein do though.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why I was surprised.
I'm about to say there's a lot of random errant books I have that are that are only readable on here.
And so now I want to probably buy that. It's only like $10.
Yeah, it's a pretty good read.
Tony's been looking for another read for a while.
I mean,
It's
this is not
like-
going to take me long, and I want another fantasy one. I think I'll probably get another light novel series that I haven't heard of. I like that. Starting something that I have no idea about, like the Sin of Gluttony, and then seeing how, if it's good or if it's bad, gives me better perspective as a writer. Like, instead of touching things that I already know that
This is gonna be fine.
yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Part of the reason why I read is the foreknowledge. Is like I've always been so used to being the knowledgeable person to the point where it's just like I seek out foreknowledge, and it's just like, maybe you should dissuade people away from like. I always, like in college, I warded all the people who are around me away from like what I would perceive as quote unquote not super great decisions. I would advise them and then let them make their own decision. And it's just like, but I would always freely give advice based off of my own like past extracurriculars.
You see how you just give advice and shit? Like, I've always been kind of opposite, unless like it was somebody really close to me. It's never been like, I should just speak what's on my mind. It's never been that easy for me.
Well, I mean, if you're posing something and you're just posing it to the group, and it's just like, oh, I want to do such and such and such and such, probably not that great of an idea.
Mhm.
Here's why. But if you really want to do it, do it.
I'll probably be quiet. Like, in terms of like in self-help, I probably wouldn't necessarily offer my perspective like Ash. Even if it's a group and they've asked a question, it's like, because I also feel like sometimes people, I'm blunt. Let me take ownership. I'm blunt, and I know that sometimes the way that I can say things can be very harsh if you're not familiar with like my
Type of
my type of like communication style. And so people become offended when I say certain words because they take those words with all the baggage and like negative connotations that they perceive them with. And I'm like, well, I didn't really mean it like that. Like, perfect example. I called my mother because she hadn't been at the house for a while. Like, she would come in the morning, feed the dogs, leave. Cool, whatever. Hey, it don't seem like you live here no more. You might want to come get your dog.
She caught an attitude, didn't she?
Not her. She said, and then I got off the phone. I was like, yeah, that's all I wanted. It was just really about Kato. So I'll talk to you later. And I got off the phone because that's all I had to say.
Oh.
Her and my dad had an argument because he got super freaked out. It was like, oh, he mad and shit like that. And she was like, he can't kick me out. So she caught a little bit of an attitude too. And then today when she got here, well, she was here yesterday, but we didn't talk. And she came in and she didn't say nothing. So I assumed she had an attitude. I was like, oh my God. They misinterpreted what I was saying. What I was saying is,
Kato's sitting over here depressed.
You haven't been here. Kato's sad. Every time I move or anybody opens a door, no matter what door it is in the house, this nigga runs to it thinking you're about to walk out of it. He's sad and depressed. So come get your dog. Like, take this nigga with you like he your little road dog. You used to just, Kendall used to go with her everywhere.
Oh,
so that's what he's used to.
Right.
So for the fact that you're just not here anymore, he's hella sad and depressed. So just come pick the little nigga up. That's all I'm saying. Not get the fuck out the house. Not you got to leave. But it was just misconstrued because I just say shit very blunt and straightforward. Come get your dog. But I literally just meant come get your dog.
It wasn't literal.
No,
it was 100% hyper literal.
Yeah,
the line of what I said is what I meant.
Yeah, come get your dog.
Red is red, green is green. Treat it as such. Oh, that comes across as chartreuse.
Yeah, and so it's like but I get that maybe it's the way that I'm communicating things sometimes because I'm saying what I gotta say, and then I'm not here to like explain if you don't ask me a question. Because they're like, I was like, why didn't you just ask what I meant? Instead of y'all just assuming it being all like dumb about it. And she was like, well, me and him started arguing because he got all upset. It was like, no matter what you do, he'll just hate me. And I was like, no, mommy, I want you to know, if you ever treat me like your mother treated you, I'm going to change the way that our relationship operates. And I'm not going to fuck with you no more. I want you to understand that. She's like, I know. She's like, I'm not under any illusion that if I'm doing things that are crazy and mistreating you, that you would just be like, oh, that's fine. I hate this nigga for no reason. That's not how you operate.
32 years of good track record to work with.
Yeah, but you can't do nothing crazy. Like, so I'm like, nah. But I just meant your dog is very sad. He seems to miss you. If you just be on Dunlap chilling, sitting on the porch, that nigga literally will sit right next to you and not do nothing. So
wag his little tiny tail.
Take your little nigga with you like you used to. She's like, yeah, I could. Simple ass conversation. Y'all got an attitude about. I don't understand. But I also recognize maybe I didn't say it the right way. So that's why I don't say shit to people, because I recognize if you didn't ask me for my opinion, the way I might say something to you might be offensive. And then now we're not even talking about what the real issue is. You're arguing with me about what I said versus what the meaning I was trying to convey to you. And I don't give a fuck enough to do this. I really, no. So I just be quiet.
Oh, you
niggas are dumb anyway.
I learned to word my stuff eloquently enough throughout college because depending upon who I'm dealing with, is like there were times where I slipped up and said things and people definitely didn't like what I said. Like I called certain things loaded questions and things of that nature. And it's just like, it's particular because most people would come to, a lot of the women that were around me would come and try and get advice about guys. And it's just like, oh, that's a loaded. It's just like, I asked him if he wanted to come with me and all my friends. That's a loaded question. Why? Because of course he's not going to want to, but he thinks you're going to assume that he doesn't, you're going to assume that he doesn't like your friends because he doesn't want to kick it with you and your friends.
I don't like their friends.
Exactly. I'm here for you, not your friends.
What's wrong with that?
But it's just like, well, if he never wants to spend time around my friends, that means I think we're going to have a problem. Thus the fact that it's loaded.
I mean, it is always a loaded question. Loaded questions are rude.
But that's the thing. It's just like no one actually wants to acknowledge those things are loaded. And I mean, but everyone around me got offended the fact that I pointed that out.
See, that's why I wouldn't have said nothing.
It's just like, oh, that's the thing. I never went down off that hill and they said I was wrong. And guess what happened? They broke up.
But my thing is, my thing is like that. But why do you care?
Oh, why do I care? Me? Or them?
You, nigga. Oh, you the one saying shit. Why do you care enough to say something? My friends.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like every friend in need of advice unless...
If you were to prompt me for advice, I'm prone to giving unprompted advice, Tony.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not trying to solve everybody's problem all the time. I will help solve people's problems that really mean a lot to me. But if anything I learned in my later last leg of my 20s, if you start giving me too much about how we need to change, this ain't going to work, and I tried that, and you just want to vent.
I give you a plausible thing.
I'm going to tune
whether or
you
not
out
you like it.
Because none of what you're doing belongs to me. I'm super empathic. So I'm going to try. I'm going to take a lot of shit on that I probably shouldn't. Just by you proxy, just venting to me. And I want to help you. I want to help the people I love. Who the fuck don't? But if you just keep giving me, well, no, this one.
Do you take venting as complaining?
After a while, if I keep hearing the same one, yes. If it's just one, maybe twice, we can do that. I can hear you once. And then the situation happened again twice. Third time,
Whenever someone
I'm
vents,
tuning out.
whenever someone vents
You
to
just
me,
want
it's never
somebody on the
really
other
same
end
thing
going,
over and
mhm.
over again.
Yeah.
Like venting is more so you're talking about your current circumstances, but you rarely, like, none of my friends vent about the exact same thing every single time. So I wouldn't, but if it's circular, then it's just like, well, you should do something about this.
Yeah. Like with Riley's father. Am I constantly down here telling y'all about the shit that he do? No. You want to know why? Because it's my fucking problem. I don't feel like keep constantly telling y'all about every little thing. That'd be fucking weird.
I mean, we're your friends. I will listen to them.
Nah.
No.
I'm not, if you hear me doing that
I
way
would
too
be
many
mad.
times, yeah,
That'd
like
be like the one chick that constantly blamed her baby daddy for saying that he wanted to build a family and then was a liar. Where's your accountability, madam?
right.
But
It's
he
just
constantly
strange.
said he wanted to bring it. Like, how many times did she run this back?
No, she only had one,
Okay.
but she
It don't matter at the end of the day.
She
I
talked
slept
about
with
the
the
fact that
nigga.
her whole life changed because of that one kid and how he said that he wanted to build a family and everything like that, and she had a kid and he didn't want it. Madam,
Okay. I mean, that's your life story.
where
All right,
is
cool.
your level of accountability? And no, that's not your life story. That is a moment in time. You should make that your life story, but she did. And so it's just, I guess, like I've had people complain about shit like that. Or you ever had a friend that is just constantly like not on time?
Yes.
And then they always complain about how they're not on time?
No. Never not complain about how they're not on time. Them niggas knew they were late all the goddamn time. Never apologized.
I mean, no, that wasn't apologetic for it. They were just always complaining about like, or not like not being on time, but always feeling like they have to rush and shit like that.
And even then, just hearing yourself talk about something over and over again the same, you'd be like, I'm tired of hearing myself. And I damn sure don't want nobody looking at me like, bitch, you ain't got it together over there.
I'm not gonna sit here and judge you for saying things. Sometimes people just need
Sometimes, but not all the time. Like if
Shit
I'm
off your chest.
actively trying to be like, then it just makes me look like I'm trying to make him look like the bad guy. And I don't want to play that fucking role. And I just don't feel like complaining about the shit. Like at one point, where would I come in and say, I don't have to deal with this? Like, what point would I be like, I'm removing myself from this? What can I do to change? And if you can't have that conversation in your head, then that's fine, but just stay over there. I'm going to be on the other line going, mm-hmm.
Oh, at some point I'm gonna
For
say,
real,
well,
what?
as of some point,
Wow.
you have accepted these circumstances because
Yeah.
you choose to continue to live in them. You're not going to remove yourself, like I was talking about earlier with my with some members of my family that I'm telling my sister and my mother not to deal with anymore, and they're just saying, well, I have to. It's just like, well, as of this point, you have to accept this is what you want to be doing. And complaining about what you want to be doing is it makes no sense.
Exactly.
So you're choosing to engage with these things. So you can actively choose not to engage with these things, or you can accept the fact that this is whom you want to engage with and understand that. But you're fence sitting right now. You're saying you have to, but you really don't.
Yo, that's
and
the
when
worst.
I tell you, when someone points out the fact that you have to, you give all these reasons why you have to, but none of them are actually relevant because
I hate that shit. You
it's just
always
like-
have a choice to not do what the fuck you doing. It don't matter what it is. And that's a lesson to learn. You is not beholden to nothing. I think I really got it when I started hanging around Tony. You ain't beholden to shit. What do you owe anybody? Absolutely nothing. You owe nobody anything. I owe myself the truth. And I live by the truth wherever the fuck it takes me. But really, what do you owe anybody by staying somewhere you don't want to be, doing things that you don't want to do? You always have a choice. Walk away.
It's just one of those things where I'm just sitting here looking at them. It's just like, well, you got to, because what happens when people just start passing away and it's just us? It's just like, yes, it's going to be you and your husband over there. Y'all too.
Yeah, people just
Living
think,
it up
oh,
in
I
Costa
have
Rica.
to do. You don't have
Or
to
doing whatever the heck you guys want
shit.
to because you guys actually have a retirement.
Like
And you-
being a father, a mother, you don't have to take care of these children.
It's just like, but this is all
You
the
can
family that
just-
we have. It's me, my sister, we got two other cousins. At least two of the cousins have 3 kids, and the other 2 have 1 kid, and I have no kids. And if you want to be extrajudicial, the person I'm telling you not to deal with, if you still want to deal with one of them, they got 6 kids. So there's more than enough people to the point where you ain't got to deal with this. At least one of these people.
And
There's
saying
enough
I
of us.
have to renders you powerless. And I'm not playing the powerless game anymore. Everything I have up to this point is something that I self-created. So
I think that leads into one of our topics, talking about people living lives that they feel like are too busy for themselves, too busy to really sit down and engage in their self-interest. Like maybe they used to draw or they used to write, or they just used to journal, but they don't do any of those things anymore. And people are generally in a perspective of feeling like they don't have the time, the energy for self. And so I guess, what do you guys think about people not feeling like that and living in those lives? And do you think that society is kind of set up for us to have less time for self, even though it's supposed to be, I guess, opposite of that? Like the goal of this was to be like, all right, more people would have more leisure time if society ran this way. But it seems like the most people don't have leisure time. And there's a small majority of people that have leisure time.
Oh, I'm a weirdo inside of this circumstance. The more things I do for other people, the more stuff I want to do for myself, because it's like doing things for other people or working for other people motivates me to want to work for myself because I want to do my own things. So a mild amount of frustration, one will basically prompt me forward on the other. That's just the way I am. But ad nauseum, people I feel like people don't take ownership of their off time enough in terms of like doing other stuff, because their entire thing is they're resting to go back to doing what they were doing. If you get what I'm saying. So it's like people take their weekends to rest, to go back to work. And at no point do they really attempt to enjoy their weekend. It's like, oh, I had to clean, I had to wash, I have to do all this other stuff in order to make sure I can go back to work on Monday. And only time I can really enjoy myself is my vacation time.
yeah, I think people get caught up in the fear, or if I don't have enough money, I can't do these things that I really want to do. Or it comes in a later date, like one day I'll get to do these things. And I know our society as a whole works on grinding it out. And then one day your day will come. No.
I don't know. That just reminds me of there was this random video meme about rise and grind culture. And it's just like, they they wake up, send out a tweet, rise and grind. I'm out here getting mine, turn PlayStation 4 on. Beep.
We do too much emphasis on thinking that what we do is who we are, which is further away from the truth. Yeah. What you do is not who you are. That's furthest from the truth. And even in creative work, this stuff don't define me, really. It's something I'm just hoping for, but it doesn't define who I am for real.
It's not the end all be all.
Yeah, it's just my vocation. It's just what I choose to do. Now, will I be expressing myself off camera and all this other shit and off mic or whatever? Of course I will. I don't know any other way to be in that realm, but I guess that's the point of Divide, where we was talking about reviewing music and why I really couldn't sit down and be like, oh, this week is this next week is this, only because I feel like that's a hobby. That's the way I express myself. That's the way I can connect to other people and how they express themselves. So me doing it like that and seeing it as something that you have to do would take away.
Yeah. Like we were having this conversation because we were listening to the new Alchemist and not Lloyd Banks. Why the heck would Alchemist make an album with Lloyd Banks? But that actually would be interesting.
Bodie James?
Bodie James.
Yeah.
Bodie James album. And you were just talking about like, I just like last week, I just listened to Call Me When You Get Lost.
Yep. And that shit came out in June. I just laid in bed. I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Me and Tony listened to that a while back.
And holy hell enjoyed every minute of that album.
Call Me When You Get Lost.
Yeah, it wasn't like a track I didn't like, and just laid in bed that whole hour that thing played. And was like, damn, that was amazing. I'm gonna Call Me When You Get Lost in merch. Did you see how I'm a month behind? Even more than a month. I think it came out in June. I just decided, like, that's the pace that I'm willing to consume that, because it means a little bit more to me than just having something just kind of come in. And
I mean, him and Vince Staples messed up my entire summer.
So yeah, or just like,
oh, well, none of y'all are gonna beat these. Go sit down.
It's not, and like I said, people that made jobs out of that, like music reviewers, and I know Anthony Fantano has a pretty lucrative career just doing what he loved doing, because he's a self-proclaimed music nerd. He was already probably consuming music like that, and then turned it into a job.
It's just like, what are you doing?
Perfectly fine. I was already writing. I was already in tune with these parts of myself before the world said, hey, this is who you have to be. And I think people were just scared. What would happen if I do slow down? You know, what happens if I get to know myself? People ain't afraid of that. You ain't trained in that part. You trained to do that shit. You trained to work forever.
Dude, Jeremy Johns, he's a film reviewer on YouTube, but the entire reason why he started reviewing films is he was a projectionist at a movie theater, and he got really irritated at Transformers 2. So he just went on YouTube and just basically reviewed Transformers 2. And his first review was just calling Transformers 2 basically dog shit. And it's just like, well, that's an actual rating. It's dog shit. But it's like, and that's how his entire film career basically got started. Yeah. It's just like, it's like, I enjoy doing this. I would have watched all these movies anyway. Now I get paid to watch these movies.
You ever heard of Chris Stuckman when he do his movie reviews?
Nope.
Okay, so he got like 2 million plus subscribers too, and his motivation has always been to be a filmmaker. He just started getting into film reviews, I think, not on accident, but just to kind of go into the other part of what he thought filmmaking was. And then his shit took off. And now he went back. Now he got like a script and everything, where he's going back into actually making a film. He's making a film now. So his whole channel direction is changing. He was like, I actually want to give advice on how to become a filmmaker and these things, like just things that go into filmmaking. And I was like, that's interesting.
But yeah, I mean, people just don't have time for self-actualization inside of that way.
How do you not have time for the reason that you exist?
Well, what if you think your reason existing is that?
Because
your reason isn't yourself?
Your reason is to maintain your existence.
Yeah,
your
think
existence
that's
is
it.
maintaining your existence.
You don't feed that other part of you because you think it's frilliness. Like, you don't really see how important it is. I think, like, my dad loved fishing. I don't think he ever wanted to be a fisherman or anything like that. But he also loved driving, too. And he drove for the city of Cleveland for 20 plus years. Now, was I saying he's the most fulfilled person that I know? Absolutely not. But, you know.
When was the last time your dad went fishing?
Yeah, he sold his boat and everything. His poor little heart was broken when my grandfather died. So he just don't even do it for real. I don't think I ever seen him just be like, yeah, I'm going to go fishing. Or like my mother used to paint. She was always talking about like, I want to get back into painting. Well, why don't you?
You're
she
retired,
just get quiet. Yeah. She just go back on her tablet and go back on Facebook.
As of this point, it's just like, I don't know. People don't like going out on a limb all that much.
Yeah, they just want to,
doing anything requires a legitimate amount of failure. Failure is an inevitability. It's just like, I'm going to fuck up this song more times than when I do it right.
Well, yeah. That's okay.
That's not okay for most people.
I guess.
People are terrified of failure. It is like we just had this conversation. It's just like stereotypically the difference between men and women approaching the opposite sex. Men are fine with it because as of this point, eventually, even though the first one's staying at some point, you just kind of get over it because you get shot down a lot. But for women, it's just kind of like, oh, I'm done this. I haven't really done this before. I'm not really all that interested. Oh,
Well,
it's like the Titanic sank.
ooh, excuse me.
You out here on the door. Well, he's on the door now, and he's looking down, and he's just like, we can both fit on this door. I'm good.
Well, see, I brought this topic up to my boyfriend, and he said he worked 2 jobs, so that's about 70 hours a week at the very least, and he building a business. And I told him, like, what you think about this topic? Because Tony already told me about it. He's like, I find issue with that, only because he felt like he had worked. He said I tried different ways, and he really feel like doing those things don't help him cultivate the life that he wants. But at the end of the day, he was like, I like writing. And he don't do that too much. He doesn't write too much. What else do he like doing? So far, I know it's the writing thing. But when you hear him, it's like he just feel like he really just don't have a choice. Like he just doesn't know how to, or like you would be like, okay, I'm gonna work my ass off and then I'll get the chance to relax. Cause him getting started with the business, and I was telling him, well, if you are ambitious as you say you are, what happened when you get to that pinnacle? You know, you chasing a carrot, basically working 2 jobs now. But what happened when you start chasing a gold bar? What happens then? You was like, you think you'll get to that point and everything just gonna be hunky-dory and you just gonna chill out? I'm like, no. What else you gonna do?
Eventually, what happens when you get the damn carrot? It's
Yeah,
just
what
like, well,
happens when you get it? Yeah, you're just gonna look around. I'm like, if you're working this hard, it won't change. It don't go nowhere. You working that hard towards that one goal, won't go nowhere. It's not gonna stop.
Is your goal? Because is the satisfaction and the achievement of the goal, or is it the quest of getting to the goal? I think a lot of people have a lot of satisfaction in the quest and not the end goal.
Mm-hmm.
So when they get to the end goal, the quest is over, and they become as just like, I am empty. Why? Because my life was this quest.
Right. And like I said, sometimes I see the mentality behind it, and I don't like. I'm not chastising nobody out of that shit for real, because that's not really my place. If you feel like this is what's best for you now, then that's just gonna be what's best for you now. Me giving you advice and soliciting advice when clearly you don't see a way out of it. If you ask me like, oh, how can I get out of this, or how can I change? Then I'm more willing to give you advice, because now you really looking to at least start to prep yourself to solve the problem. But if you was just like, nah, this is it. Fuck, I'm not here to convince you of otherwise. That's weird.
Oh, I mean, I just don't deal with people who are like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't deal with people who are not necessarily understanding of where they want to be. And I think there has to be a level of understanding of that. Is just like, if some people actually enjoy their work, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy it. That's actually the optimal place that you want to be.
Yeah.
So that means you gain a level of fulfillment. But I'm gonna be real, most people don't like it. Or it's not that they hate the place that they worked, is that they don't get the level of fulfillment from their work that they probably would want to get. So would you leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people don't do that because work becomes a lot of their life. And that's the number one thing that I'm always hesitant about getting like another regular job, because it's just like doing that now is already really difficult, because it's just like there's times where it's just like, oh, I just left work, get another call. So can you go do this other thing? No, I cannot go do this other thing.
Well, what do y'all say about that? Because I know Tony has been in a situation where he could go, where he chooses to pursue his endeavors for a while and then has went back into the workforce. How did you feel about making those transitions both of those times?
I make them very finite.
Yeah.
Like nothing is like, I'm going to go for this amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Hard stop. Most people aren't willing to sacrifice that level of comfort that you can attain by doing the 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't hold a lot of sway over me, but I also recognize that I have more advantages than most people, since I have a primary income that isn't going to stop regardless of whether I go to work or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for me, it's always, all right, I'm gonna give it a year. Like right now, since I've been debating on going back to work and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
if I do go back, it'd be for 6 months. And then I would hop back out.
Yeah. If I were to go back, I would just, my biggest choice is making sure I don't pick a job that balloons over into my regular life.
And that's my thing. It's like, I want to do
A
something
hard line.
that has a hard stop line. That's why, like, I was looking at some of the like housing stuff and shit like that, working on houses and shit. If that can just move out and get into a more stable fashion, then I'll do that. Other than that, I might go take a traditional 9 to 5, but I would want it to be at least something like a Monday through Friday. No weekends.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just one of those things where it's just like, I have people around me who allow their job to consume their lives because they feel like the stability, they don't want to go back to where things were
Unstable.
before they were unstable. And it's just like,
I guess for me, I look at it as like when things aren't as concrete as what you have right there in that stability, there's room for growth and change. If you're just going to keep doing that same thing, sure, it's a bedrock foundation, but you can't get nothing to grow out of that.
it's like,
That's
yeah,
not how plants and growth works. Like, you got to have like some shift in soil and some movement.
gotta
Like,
break some stuff.
yeah, shit's going to get broken and it's
You
not
gotta-
going to look the prettiest all the time. Sometimes you're going to be like, damn, how am I going
This
to
look
make
rough.
this work out? Where am I going to get this, or how am I going to put this into a new perspective? I guess that kind of takes me to the next point I want to bring up. Since we all kind of do creative things or are more of in a contractor s work, how do you feel when your time is valued like somebody else's? Like, I know, like Charles, like, let's say you go in and someone asks you to fix their computer for them.
Yep.
And you go in there and it takes you 20 minutes to do it, but you charge them $125, $200 for your time to do that.
Yep.
They probably are going to be upset that for this 20 minutes you charge them $125, $200.
Sorry, I got a minimum for showing up here.
Yeah, but they're not gonna. And I guess, how do y'all feel about where it doesn't feel like everybody doesn't understand that? Where, and it's not even necessarily a minimum. It's my expertise or the skills that I have.
Took time for me to get them.
It took time for me to cultivate and get them to this point where I can come do this like that, or I am able to craft this for you or do this thing for you that you don't have the skills for.
And the normal person would have taken 5 hours to do.
Yeah.
You've been
And-
sitting here watching YouTube tutorials, doing blah, 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 blah.
Why do you feel like there's an issue with like that concept of like my skills are demand this value?
Either you ain't got the money to pay me, or you got some weirdo resentment against me.
This is the reason why I give you the dollar amount cost up front. And if you don't want to pay me, bye.
Yeah, like you complaining about how much somebody else has said it is just strange.
Like, you're calling me because you need this as of this point.
Good.
And you look at me like, well, I have thousands of hours of work on here. All right. Don't think of it like I only did 20 minutes of work. Think about it like I saved you thousands of hours worth of work.
Nobody ever complained going to Walmart and complain about how much irons cost. You either just find the cheaper iron that's in your budget, or buy the one that you fucking want.
Yeah, because shit, they'll be mad at like the plumber that comes in and can fix your whole shit in 20 minutes, or the mechanic that if your shit is broken and you can't call nobody, you need it done right now, he can come, but he gonna charge you a premium for that. It's
Expediency cost.
even shit outside of that. It's what I can do that no one else can do, or that other people can do, and maybe not as fast as me or not to the level as me, has a premium or has a price to it.
Exactly.
That isn't the same as how you value your prices and times. Because I guess I'll see what you guys think about this. Do you think that people who work a regular 9 to 5 job equate everybody's time to about the same wages that they would make for an hour's worth of time? Like, it'd take me a whole day to make this $300 or this $100. So do you think that they feel somehow cheated because what would take them a whole day to make, you're going to charge them for 20 minutes worth of work and then go about the rest of your day and do whatever else you got to do?
Yeah, you feel entitled if you give your time up as much as somebody that does the 9 to 5. You feel a way about what you offered and what you took versus what somebody else said and said named their price. That's what I said. You either don't have the money or you're resentful. I don't see it
money
either
and you
or.
got time.
Yeah, I don't see.
If you got a bunch of money, you probably don't have that much time. If you got a bunch of time, you probably don't have too much money. If you got the time, fix it yourself. If you have the money, pay somebody else to fix it. What I'm here to do is I'm here to provide a service. You asked me to do something. I came here. I've done it. Now, luckily, I exist around a bunch of people who don't typically complain about price all that much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, here's my rate. Here's my minimum. Thank you. Come again.
Yeah. And the niggas that couldn't pay for it will complain about it. Well, I can go here. Well, then go there. What you telling me about it? Squad. I don't give a fuck. That's you know what? Give me the number. I'll give them a 5-star rating and be like, listen, y'all charge this amount of money and Karen told me about it.
What you're looking at me is just like, yeah, they charge that amount. Yeah, you're getting a very itemized list. What they didn't tell you is I had to pay $70 for that hard drive. So, I mean, you're really only paying me $130.
That's so fucking weird. That's like, I think you owe me this. This should be this price.
My price is not negotiable. I gave you my price before I fixed it. Leave me. If you're not going to pay it, leave me alone.
You can go somewhere, or you can deal with the fact that why do you think you need to tell me that somewhere is just cheaper? Are you the one in business? Are you trying to teach me how to be competitive against my competitors?
Yeah, that'd be like people, because like you going out and being able to find shoes and just different items and things like that, and then selling them and then making
like
however much you make it up on it. It's like,
Goodwill, no, this should be worth $5. You want it or you don't. It's nothing. I'm not going to tell you about how you should be pricing things around this bitch. I know how much I'm going to price it if I buy it. And no one can tell me anywhere out of that scope. It is what it is.
If I price it like that, that's what the price is. And if you want it, I was able to go get it.
I was selling
you gonna buy it or you not.
I was selling a PDF, a super rare PDF to the spiritual niggas in the community for $25. I'm telling you, this book was probably worth $300 on Amazon if you bought the paperback. And it's only like 90 pages. It was hella rare. I bought it because for some reason it was back in production for $8. I scanned it in, sold it for $25. Made a cool little $300-$400 in a weekend for that one. Somebody was like, you selling it for $25? I could get this for free.
Then go get it.
Sir, go get it.
If you had the capacity to do it, you wouldn't be here.
You're telling me about it. I'm like, cool, that's cool. Like I told him, I showed him the link. Like, yeah, it's about worth what, $300 on this website. Another website, $500. But if you can find it for free, by all means.
More power to you, bro.
Yeah, do what you want to do.
I'm doing a service for y'all. $25 for that PDF wasn't shit for real. Especially compared to the prices that people was paying for it.
Take the whole time.
I've been there, somewhere. Yeah. I've been there, who are you talking to?
Take your ass, you fake deep ass, and somewhere go.
Get out of my face.
Don't you believe that you should be fixing my computer for the community?
Yeah, and I knew that we probably all had situations where it's like, my situation and my price is my price. Like, niggas be mad. They're like, you gonna get a job? I gotta walk into $25 an hour. What you mean? Price for me to leave my house is $25 an hour. Anything other than that, ain't getting it. When I go do work for other people randomly, it's just what I'm making. So the price is the price.
Right.
If you would like me to leave, pay the price. If you don't want to pay the price, I'm going to stay home and be completely fine with that.
Exactly.
I can go out and work and make $500 in a week real quick.
Exactly. Selling yourself short. If you don't know how much you at least worth, or not even, I don't want to say put a price tag on it, but yeah, your time is, you ain't never going to get that shit back.
No. And
never. No matter what you
and the skills that I have and or the position that I've placed myself in to be the need that you have, like I need someone that is free and available. Cool.
Mhm.
I can feel that need for you.
I am
If
free
you-
and available, but the free and available cost.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if I'm doing what you want me to do, that means
I can't do it.
I'm not doing what I need to be doing. I have a hard deadline for this book. I need to be done. When does summer end? The middle of September?
Yes.
All right. So I have to be done.
September 22nd.
So, all right, there's the date that I need to be done with the book. So any time that I'm doing other things,
You
I'm
are in the way.
actively not doing the shit that I need to be doing for myself.
Mhm.
So you have to compensate me for that, or I'm going back in my house because the price is the price. And if you can't
Exactly.
afford the price, I respect that. But the
That's
price
fine.
is the price. And
I'm not going to complain about you not paying me. That's completely and totally your prerogative. But it's also my prerogative to charge.
yeah, I don't know. I just think that it's interesting that
Like, why are you upset that I'm charging?
people charge. Yeah, people get mad or feel offended that, I don't know, maybe it's that you have the capacity or the leverage to do these things and they don't exist in that realm. But I don't know why they feel so entitled. Like, sure, maybe it's because y'all only make this certain amount of a day, but still, it's like you don't feel that level of vitriol towards your manager that probably makes
Right. You didn't
double
say
or
none
three
of that
times
shit when you
what
took
you-
that offer.
Also, the other
Mhm.
thing you got to understand is now that people are starting to realize this with the current labor shortages out of certain capacities, is one, they could probably be paying you to this point if they wanted to. They're just not.
Yeah.
And y'all as workers, as a united entity, haven't really put their foot down. And now that they have, is just like, why are all the benefits and stuff getting better? And why are people like Target pays for college tuition now and all this other stuff? Where did all this stuff come from? Why weren't they doing this before? Oh, because they didn't have to.
Mhm.
And now you're holding their hand in the flame. And it's just like, this shit's hot and they're going to pull their hand away because you know what they want to do? They want to make money. And when you take away all the money, they understand it's like, well, I'd rather make some money than not make any. So I'll sacrifice a bit.
I just had an idea.
What?
No, I can't say it on the podcast.
It's just like, Tony had an epiphany face. It's just like,
Yeah.
wait a second.
Yeah, no. Tony was like, me and Charles and Ash are. We can talk about it off this podcast.
Okay.
We can go to Ash's topic. It's already been an hour and a half.
Because that first gym conversation.
we did
Then what
good.
happened to Dr. Dre? I'm gonna forever do that shit.
What happened to
It's
Dr.
never
J?
gonna stop.
It don't fit in the conversation no more.
It's never gonna stop.
I swear to God, we had that conversation.
I'ma always be like,
Charles be
"It's
mad
my
at me
turn."
too. Because I'll have like hella tabs up on the other show, and
Uh-huh.
he's the one that closes them.
uh,
So he'll come pre-check all the tabs. And then some of the shit as we're going there, I don't care about that no more. He'll be like, what do you mean? I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. It was like 5 tabs one day. He was so
I
mad.
just don't be ready. I'll be like, I'm never ready. It's still always a shot.
Well, I just cue things up where I understand a general flow. So that means we can understand our flow transitions because it's like some of them are real clean and some of them you might have to put a little bit of thought into because it's like, oh, this is a really nice segue into this and that and that.
Yeah, see, I felt like our conversation segued very nicely into a lot of things, and then there was no room for Dr. Dre. And I honestly, I don't care. Like, I was gonna take it to not even being on him, but I honestly don't care about that.
Just like
The price is the price. How about that? I'd like that more.
the price is the price, and Dr. Dre.
I feel like that's what
Dr.
I'm calling
Dre
this
said you can't be
episode.
talking about me to depress.
I'm calling this episode "The Price Is the Price."
All right.
The price of milkshakes in China.
Oh,
For
that
Bo
shit is-
Jackson.
Oh, for Bo Jackson.
Yeah,
Bo Jackson's the
for
truth.
Bo D. The price of milkshakes in China. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, what's the what do y'all wish to accomplish with the art you create?
Oh, there's like a dream video game I want to make.
Mm-hmm.
I had this whole conversation with a friend of mine. I had an epiphany about why I don't like certain things inside of certain action games or Elder Scrolls, and there's like and I want to make this like dynamic building magic system thing. I'm not going to go too much into it because it'd be a whole system, and I'm not giving out the whole subsystem's worth of stuff.
I guess. I guess it's different things for different creations. Like some of the stuff, and I guess totality, I want my creations to afford me the ability to affect reality, and so that's why I create things.
Avoided reality.
Yeah, so that's what I want. I want them and like the most highbrow, not giving you niggas any of the like what my plans are secret. I want it to allow me to affect reality. On a more nuanced, I guess like when I'm writing the story that I'm working on right now, I really want it to be something that people can look at and kind of point at like a level of like character development, world building, and also like nuanced perspective on different topics is what I would like you to get from that. Like there's a certain couple of things that I want to like be the main thing. And so if I can convey those and also write it well enough that they're not like, they don't feel like they're hammered on, like I'm like smacking you over the head with anything, like that would be tasteless. But if I can feel like I can weave this into a good writing and also still write like a complete story that has like good world building, good character development, and like it feels like a lived in world, that's what my goal is for that. When my apps and shit like that, like some of them just for fun because I think they're interesting. Others are just like connectivity, and I think that like a lot of our issue in today is that we say that we're overly connected and we're not. We treat the fact that we can see everything all over the world all the time and watch shit like we're connected.
Yeah.
We don't really have any understanding, nuance, or real like depth or of any other situation. We don't take the time to like learn another culture or understand what the nuances are of the things that we're seeing. We just feel, oh, we're connected because I can go watch that right now. That's not really connection. That's just you like being an observer. We're not really connected. So I feel like there's an app that I want to do that has to do with a lot more of like building upon that connecting, and is like the main focus of like the user bases to like help that grow.
I'm gonna be quiet because I feel like I know what it is.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna be quiet. It's just like, wait a second.
Yeah,
you mean
yes?
God damn it, Charles.
Yes. You shut up. Yeah, you shut up. But yeah,
I have a proponency for completing things.
Yeah, it's exactly that. But yeah, so is for me, it's just very different things. But I guess a lot of the things aren't necessarily rooted in like the end goal of financial, and some things like the site me and him are working on. That's a more financially driven thing.
Yeah.
But it's still something that I have a certain level of passion for how it's done. Because I think that its counterpart isn't done as well as it could be.
Yes.
So I think that if I can do this and make it as well as I would like, that just creates competition and forces the market to improve as well. And it's a market that I frequent and enjoy myself. So if I can force it to become better overall, that's good for me.
Yeah, if we can have a positive impact on the nerd sphere ad nauseum, then I think
So I think that would have done a job of, in honesty, that one is like more money based for me. It's like, oh, this could be at least $100 million idea real quick, easy.
Yep.
Yeah, we could do that. So let's go ahead and make this and get that out. So
I'm working on it.
That's why for me, everything has a different thing. But my overarching thing is I want the ability to realistically affect reality. And that takes money and influence
and power.
Yeah.
Which are all tied to, are kind of a part of power, but
no, power and influence are a part of money. All the old people that are really influential, it's because they had money at one point.
Yeah.
Queen of England, even if that bitch is broke right now, she used to have a lot of money.
She's not broke at all.
I know.
It's just
But
like,
they're not as rich as they used to be by their standards.
yeah.
And
Because they signed over the government and they don't receive all the taxes.
yeah, so
anymore.
that's what I'm saying. So like,
It's
even if they're not like the well off, because like in like the Middle Eastern countries, them niggas is still getting paid.
Yeah.
It's a completely different situation. So that's what I mean. Where, yeah, you the queen and shit, but these niggas got money. You got money.
You're doing the Queen of England can technically like upset the entirety of the UK's actual prime ministry because he can just say, no, you guys aren't allowed to rule yourselves anymore. I own you again. Ha 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 ha. It's certain things are real wild inside the world.
Yeah, no, but I just know that money is what gives you your influence and power in the way that the world is set up right now.
Yes.
And so if that is the reality of things, generally I would like my creations to do that, but it's so I have the influence and power to then go on and affect the way that life exists as it is right now. Because I think some shit is kind of trash. And I would like to just, do my own thing and try my lot at it, but not have to be like all these other organizations or other people that be like, hey, I'm going to start doing this altruistic shit, but I'm going to come to you and beg for some money. Give me, sir, please. I need help. I want to do good things, but help me. No, that's dumb,
I don't
in
think,
my opinion.
I'm not sure if people at nauseum like. I think Tony's spending probably more time around me than we ever have before because we're working out around with one another. So that means we're both probably getting another level of understanding about one another because it's like I guess I'm a lot more altruistic at nauseum than most people are because it's like, oh, why don't you want to do this? Because it's not the right thing to do. Is that the only reason why you need? For the most part, no one else governs that. Charles, you're the only person who's really worried about where are all the bars inside the workout thing.
My God, like there was one barbell missing, and instead of him just going to steal one from another machine so we can continue our workout, this nigga's trying to find the missing barbell, find the missing clips. He's just trying to solve all the gym's problems. Bitch, if you don't bring your ass over here and work out. So I just start stealing stuff because I don't know what the fuck his problem is. But I'm gonna fix our
personally,
problem.
I'm legitimately vexed because it's like, what are you doing with these things? Are you guys like? Because like I'm partially thinking it's just like there's some like dude like Swiper the Fox from fucking Dora the Explorer running away with a 35-pound with a 35-pound freaking bar. It's just like, how? Where are you going? What are you doing? Also,
This nigga.
I need this. Where are the clips?
Charles is very admirable. It
Bruh,
really is.
Let's take
It's
clips
very-
from this other place that no one's working out at, and also the bar.
Well, what about that poor guy over there who's also gonna need clips?
Very admirable.
No,
But also, you can borrow it and put it back.
bruh, we'll be fine. They'll go find someone on another empty machine. There's a couple empty machines. We can just take stuff.
Oh, I feel like they need some more clips inside of those.
I
You
appreciate
see
that. I
how worried he
appreciate
is about
that.
the gym not having enough clips? Nigga, how is that our problem? We got clips
people
and a
will
bar.
get hurt.
Let me just say right now.
Now,
Charles, you know how that gym gives it up. Most of the people don't use clips.
see,
And
that's
that
the
bothers
weird.
him
That's
also.
ultimately the weird thing because it's like I'm upset that people do not have clips because if they don't have clips, then they can get hurt. But if they have clips and they actively choose not to use them and then they get hurt, I'll probably look at them and say they deserved it. Because at this
But he
point,
also is confused about them not using clips. Why are they not doing it?
because a lot of people don't. But if you
Because 135, like I said, that's why I want to get back to 135 because 135 isn't the weight you need clips for. And the fact that it's still heavy irritates me.
The thing of-
135 should be something you just get off me.
that's still 135 pounds in addition to your actual arm weight. Huh?
Yeah, no, just I'm telling you, it should just be get off me.
Because it's like, nah,
Yeah.
you need to clip things probably
You
regardless.
see what's wrong with him?
Well, the
This
reason why you
is-
clip things isn't just because of the fact that it's like, is to stop it from moving, and it still moves because majority of what you do, one arm is stronger than the other, so it means you don't push things up inside of any kind of synchronicity. So one weight kind of always lags down.
You do if you go slower.
I just push because like I actually, if you haven't noticed, I modified my bench press because
There you
I
go
actually
again,
do it like a
flexing.
punch.
So Ash creates art because I don't know.
Because you, I'm sorry, what? I'm happy there's more coming because I was like, wait, what do you mean? Because you don't know? You can't pause there.
I'm gonna keep going. I created art just off the basis of I didn't know what else to do. There was nothing else calling out to me. And then once I started getting into it, I realized like all my art has like a common theme towards it. It is based upon connection, but it's also based upon like a level of authenticity. And I don't do it because I don't feel like Black people can be authentic, but now I'm starting to see, I don't know how white people feel in authenticity, but I don't see, for lack of a better word, like alternative. I don't see too much like an alternative Black, like an alternative goth or people that make like rock music isn't something that Black people are into. And not saying like we have to follow in white people's footsteps, but I'm just saying creating from a level of that's just not hip hop. That's not, you know, some bullshit ass Tyler Perry story. Things like that. Like just not just being the funniest man in the room.
Why doesn't that talk? Why isn't that dude? Why is she singing to Jesus to solve all her problems at the end of every story?
Yeah,
That's the
I
way a
started-
good movie's supposed to end.
I started to see like not to say like my shit is so important that it's gonna change things, but I started to see like, well damn, what if you just don't, what if these perspectives that you want to express to people that look like you, do you realize like the gravity of what that could do? And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that it could do it. Like I'm just like, I'm the people's fucking warrior.
But
None of
I
that is
understand what you
happening.
mean is like showing them that this is something that Black people can do is
And
kind
having
of
the
important.
permission to do it, yeah. Like all the characters in my story, I don't think I have like white main characters for real. And they look like me. I'd never seen a story like that I'm written in this capacity where it's not to say that they don't exist, but I haven't read it. And then to not make it a race issue too. Oh my fucking God. Like not that be a primary thing. Like why every time we tell a story, it's about us being poor or some cop whooping up beside our head. Like that can't be the totality of who we are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like it's the overall critique of the only way a black person can win an Oscar is by being 7 years a slave, basically.
Or being like this weird, like abusive parent, or just
Or it's
just
just
something
like
gruesome and monstrous or gay. Like, what if that's not the whole of our story?
it's
What if that's not it?
like the example a friend of mine likes to give is Training Day and John Q came out in the same year.
Yep.
Denzel Washington won an Oscar for Training Day, where
Mhm.
he is a crooked cop that is ostensibly a terrible person and so on and so forth. But he could have won for John Q when he was this like
Which one? John Q was trying to save his son's life.
yeah, he's trying to save his
okay.
son's life. He's in there. He's holding the hospital hostage inside of a way,
Mm-hmm.
but it is a lot more understandable because you are holding it hostage, but you're trying to get your son this heart, and you've been trying to go out, you've been trying to get this job, and you've been interviewing for things, and they come back and you're willing to do the work, but they're coming back and you're saying, well, you're overqualified for this position, John, and this stuff. Like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah. Or like when Monique won for Precious.
Monique
Nigga,
won an
that-
Oscar?
She won an Oscar for Precious for being, or
The-
12 Years a Slave. I think the nigga that played that won an Oscar.
Yeah.
It's like you don't get to see, or what we doing is like with Ariel, the Black Mermaid, or if niggas want to see a Black Mermaid. You waited. I don't know when the fuck Little Mermaid came out in 1994. I'm gonna say whatever.
Whatever it is.
My brother, 27. He's born in 94. You waited 27 years to create your own mermaid story. This is perplexing.
Well, first things first, it's just like, yeah, it's such a weird thing. I hate when Black people I don't need to crib other people's stories in order to make stories for Black people. I can just make a story about a Black person. And it's all like I listen to this audiobook series. It's called The Land, and it's by this dude named Aileron Kong.
Mhm.
He's a Black guy who lives down in Atlanta, and it's a real interesting thing because the main character is
like he looks a lot like me. He has curly hair,
Mm-hmm.
caramelist brown skin, and that was his original descriptor. And it took 9 books, so the author literally had to look at them and say, the main character is black, y'all. Like, he's from Atlanta. Like, he's blackety, blackety, black, black. I always thought he looked like me.
Hmm.
Do you have caramel skin?
You see?
No. Curly hair? No.
That description sounds like Jesus, and Jesus looks like me. Charles Vance. I mean, that's what,
It's just like-
that's what they said Jesus looked like, and then everybody said it's a
It's
picture
just
of a
like-
white man. So
It's
that's white man.
you know that one light hit. Oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of the freaking song. It's like, I don't know. It's taking me every single thing I have not to go upside your head right now. Like,
Yeah, Jesus.
why are you that surprised? I legitimately didn't know Richter was black.
Yeah, because
didn't
you
wanna
described
know.
him like Jesus,
He's from
and
Bla-
Jesus was white.
He's from
I'm from
Blacklandia.
Jesus.
he's from Atlanta.
He's from Blacklandia.
But he does like all of these types of nerdy things, and he likes like things that normally black people don't like.
Yeah,
no.
see,
It's
that's
just like,
racist. Let's even say that. Normally, black people don't like these things. That's fucking racist. Like,
Who are you to
what
tell
the
us?
fuck?
he plays video games and does
Nigga.
other things. It's just like, black people play video games.
Nigga,
Why are
go
you
hard
surprised?
at
Now y'all
video
only play
games.
Madden. Go sit your ass down.
Go hard at video. And so, like, I noticed, like, the things that, like, who I am in general. Like I said, just that authenticity is what I really write about.
Also, black people made rock too. Just
Yeah, and
to
we
let you
don't-
guys know.
That's not one of the things I wanted to do was make a documentary on that about how things fundamentally started out black and then somehow white culture adopts it as its own, and then we not really getting the credit for it. It's like I really wanted to make it. I still
it's
want
such
to
a
do that.
weird occurrence because when you go and you talk to the actual people who made it, it's just
Mhm.
like,
Oh, we was listening
I
to
love
niggas.
Chess Record. It's just like, I love these dudes. They were great. Muddy Waters is great. Hendrix was great.
Rolling Stones,
They
Led
were the fucking
Zeppelin.
best. It's
Led
just
Zeppelin
like,
got into so many lawsuits because of how many people, how many black artists they were stealing from, like how many blues artists they was, and wasn't giving them credit early in their career. Them motherfuckers came back and was like, excuse me, this is my motherfucking song. I mean, I ain't talking about like once or twice. I'm talking about early in their career. What's his name? Sonny, I forget his last name. Howlin' Wolf came back to him. Muddy Waters, all the states started suing them because they just really took like little parts of the songs and then tried to make it their own song. And then they was like, yeah, we know we fucked. The Robert Plant was like, yeah, we fucked up. We, you know what I'm saying? Like we knew this thing was coming.
my favorite Led Zeppelin song is like "In My Time of Dying." It's just like, that's basically a 60s slide blues song for all intents and purposes. Well.
Yeah.
It's just like,
So they got away, like, but like I said, the Rolling Stones would say actively, like, no, we just listen to blues artists. We trying to recreate a sound. But things like that, like I said, I'm not trying to say that like, I'm the herald of all black alternative people. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like my art just revolves around being authentic and just expressing that part
being
of
who
you.
we are.
Yeah, and you don't have to hide that because of what you think you are, or what somebody else said. Like, I know we got a lot of issues with just, well, what if you don't believe in Jesus? Is there anybody to tell you not to? What if you go to these spaces like how I've been? Like, I think Girl Sets for Shed It. You like 2 white for the black kids and 2 black for white kids. Like, it's always that weird space where, what are you doing here? Like, white people
what
looking
you
at you
talking-
like, what are you doing here? And black people like, well, there she go again. Like,
What you over there doing? It's not, black people are not supposed to like punk music.
Mhm.
Black proto punk was pretty much made by black people.
yeah, and then at the end of the day, some white person always like, you're just so cool ass. You know what? I thought you were real cool. Wasn't expecting that. Like,
You racist
what?
as fuck.
It's like, what do you mean?
Why'd you have to say that?
What do you mean?
You could have just said, I'm cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why
just
you have to
left
take it a step farther? People talk too much.
Yeah.
Y'all ever notice that? People just say too much shit.
It's
Like,
just like,
you could
wait,
just shut the fuck up.
you're cool. Wait for it. For a black guy. There we go.
There you go. You be like,
You could just shut
Why do you gotta fall into the Team Rocket trap hole? The trap hole is really right there. Right there, right in front of you. There are floodlights at the bottom of it. You can see the spikes. You can see the snakes. You can see the whole anacondas.
Yeah, and like,
But
or
you just had to
just
jump from the snake pit.
letting our inner circle know, like, you know, just letting Black people know, like, oh, it's okay for us to do everything that we just want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think we know how to live our lives freely.
Like for Labor Day, I kind of want to go down to Dragon Con.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things where it's in the middle of a plague inside the South. So I'm very, very judicious about, I mean, being at a con is already kind of suspect. You always end up with con crud and all this other stuff. It's like, it's literally its own disease where you go in there because there's thousands of people inside the same space. You're going to catch something. And it's like, ugh. But, and then you got this Delta variant. Whew.
That don't sound like a good con going experience.
It's not
no,
right
I
now.
don't.
I want to go to cons, but I don't think that I'm gonna do that.
It's not worth rolling the dice right now. We got a whole.
Yeah, the way you was talking about Dragon Con, I was like, hey, is Charles rolling the dice? Because I sound like I want to go, but I also not gonna do this.
It's like, it's just looking around. It's like people, they're going to be running around and there's going to be a bunch of people and a lot. And because like half the people aren't going to be wearing masks probably because we're inside the middle of Georgia and we're also dealing with people. So it's just going to be like, well, people are about to do. Lollapalooza wasn't apparently a freaking super spreader event because they forced in order to go, you had to prevent your COVID vaccination card and all that other stuff. But so it means we can't have stuff. But, or you have to present a negative test.
Mm-hmm.
It required you having your vaccination or a negative test.
I had to get a COVID test before I go get my surgery.
Well,
It's like a drive-through. They're gonna stick me in the nose, and then I'm gonna go get the surgery. Yeah, that shit is terrible, bro.
I hate like when you understand the fundamental thing that your nostrils go a lot further than you up than you.
Yeah,
think they do.
it's terrible. Get out of my face.
It's just like, why are you about to? Oh, you stuck it past my eyes. What is
Get out of
wrong
my
with you?
face.
Yeah, that shit is terrible.
I got some of your snot. Yeah, you fucking weirdo. Go sit down somewhere. Well,
Yep.
Is there anything else that we were going to talk about? Or I feel
I feel like we did enough.
all right, look at that. That was great.
And we'll talk about. All right. Well,
The price is the price, motherfucker. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and you know, all of the things. All of them. Hit that
Praise-
notification button.
praise jogging.
Oh, and t-shirts should be out in like 3 weeks.
Okay. Bye bye.